Hey, Wembock World Entertainment, and of course this summer we're going to get the first official true kickoff to the brand new DCU with Superman, formerly of course Superman Legacy. And we've all been wondering about the tone for the movie and is it actually going to be hopeful and optimistic and stuff, because the trailer most certainly did not give that impression. In fact, it was very bleak for the most part. Colour, never mind that, but the actual tone, there was no Superman smiling whatsoever in the trailer. You had those moments of the people reacting negatively towards Superman and all that stuff, and everyone's kind of going, oh, it's everything we've seen before, and not in a good way for a lot of people. And of course, the whole trailer opened up with Superman half dead, spitting up blood. Well, now there's a suggestion that this movie is actually going to be filled with a lot of humour in it as well. And that could also be quite concerning, because that was one of the things a lot of people were also questioning when James Gunn was said to be the one writing and directing this. Was, oh, the guy who just turns everything into a joke, is that about to happen again? And what we're hearing, it sounds concerning. It also sounds a bit weird the way it gets spoken about from Gunn himself, but he also compares Superman to something which you just wouldn't expect to hear it be compared to. And just so you know, this article tries to make this movie sound like it's the best thing since sliced bread, and that the trailer was this impeccable masterpiece that nobody had issues with. And you'll see what I mean. But let's dive into it anyway. So, Superman is the movie that officially kicks off the DCU after last year's Creature Commandos gave us a taste of what's to come on Max. While the likes of Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, and Lanterns are already in production, make no mistake about it, DC Studios' future hinges on Superman's success. Still, the response to the first trailer was overwhelmingly positive, and all signs point to filmmaker James Gunn delivering the uplifting, hopeful take on the Man of Steel fans have been desperate to see in theaters again. There's the cope kind of part, the part where they're trying to make it sound like this trailer was like the most fun and optimistic and hopeful and joyful thing ever, when it's like overwhelmingly positive. No, it wasn't. There was a lot of people going, this just looks like Man of Steel again. And where in that trailer were we seeing uplifting and hopeful? I don't quite know. But anyway, this continues saying, Gunn, who also runs DC Studios alongside Peter Safran, is no stranger to comic book movies. While the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy had a lot of heart, it was largely comedic, as were the likes of the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker. That's led to concerns Superman will also be a comedy. Talking during a recent episode of The Town, Hollywood insider Matthew Belloni shared, I have been told by people at Warner Brothers that there is a lot of humour in Superman. So that's what he says. So this article says, is this a cause for concern? It's too soon to say, but probably not. In 2023, Gunn said, I learned so much from making the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, but it's not like Superman is going to have exactly the same vibe as Guardians movies. It's actually quite different. Well, you don't say. He'd later elaborate on Superman's approach to humour when he explained, people like Rachel are so funny, and David is very funny as well. So there's humour in it, but it's trying to create something that is grounded. But also, it's an incredibly fanciful world. Now, by the way, this is the part where you hear what he's trying to also compare it to, which is like, wait, what? He says, it's fantasy. It takes from other things like Game of Thrones, where it's this universe where superheroes actually exist. Once again, you're hearing something in the DCU being compared to Game of Thrones. Why is Superman being compared to Game of Thrones? So you're hearing him say, oh, it's not going to be done the way Guardians of the Galaxy is done. That is rebuke for humour in it. He says there's humour in it, but he's trying to say, but it's not like Guardians of the Galaxy. No, Of course it's not going to be like Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's going to be different. But then when you're hearing other people saying, they're hearing from people in Warner saying, oh yeah, there's a crap ton of humour in this thing, that could be an issue. Now, it's not like you don't want there to be humour and stuff in it. Of course you want those moments of levity and uplifting and stuff like that. But you don't want it to just be a joke-ridden fest. You know, like what Marvel has truly become, where everything is just a joke. People trying to say, oh, the best part about Captain America Brave New World, there's no more Marvel humour in it. It's like, did you not see the guy playing the Falcon in it? Because he was the humour. He was just this incredibly annoying character because he was meant to be the funny one. He was meant to be dropping all the jokes and stuff, and it just didn't work. But everything else they've done has been just comedy. Look at what they've done to Thor. Where he started to where he is now. Dad bod Thor. I mean, come on. Now, obviously, we're probably not going to get that level of humour, but the fact that it is James Gunn humour, even for a little bit of humour in there, we know what his humour is, and that could be very concerning for a character like Superman. So when everything is riding on one movie, you need to be able to nail everything. You need to be able to nail the somber moments. You need to be able to nail the moments of levity. But you don't want it to be this joke that just smacks you in the face. And that's the one thing, especially when you watched the likes of the Peacemaker trailer. Never mind watch the show, but you saw in the trailers just how much they beat you over the head with a joke where it just keeps going. And that was even happening in the first couple of episodes of Creature Commandos, where they would drop a joke and then just keep it going. It's like, good God. If you get something like that in Superman, yeah, it could spell disaster, because it's one of these, okay, the joke obviously didn't work. That's why you're doubling down on it and you keep going with it. Stop. It's not working. That could be a big issue. Do we want there to be humour in Superman? Of course you want there to be some humour, but not every 10 seconds, not every 5 minutes, not even every 10 minutes. Here and there, you want some humour, but you want it to be subtle humour as well. You don't want it to be laugh out loud type of humour. You don't want it to be like Deadpool style humour dropped in there, where it's like, oh, in something like Superman, especially in moments where something serious is happening. We'll have to wait and see. I'm sure we're going to get a new trailer at some stage. I wouldn't be surprised if we get it by next month, maybe the month after. We'll wait and see. Oh yeah, it should also be noted, I did another video about, which I forgot to actually put in there, I just remembered talking about trailers, that they have now officially confirmed that this year's Comic-Con, they won't have a presence at it again. So you're not going to get any great big rollout on Hall H for Superman or anything like that. They're not doing it. So just like last year when they basically gave you, oh look, here's a new logo, and that was it, you're going to get something like that again. They're not having a presence at it at all. So good luck to them, I guess. What a stupid thing to do. Here's the biggest conventions for this type of stuff, and you go, yeah, no, we couldn't be arsed to show up. Way you go, guys. Great promoting your product there. But we'll see what happens with this movie. Again, that first trailer did not go overwhelmingly positively for them. There was quite a lot of, oh, it looks and feels like Man of Steel again. So we'll have to wait and see what we get with the next trailer, and just how much humour could actually be in this. We'll find out. So with that, I shall leave it there for this one. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.